A very good morning to all my dear students. I welcome you all to the 4th class of the online session 2020-2021. Let us do a quick recapitulation of what we had done yesterday. In yesterday's class, I had discussed to you all regarding uniform and non-uniform motion, how to solve numericals on uniform and non-uniform motion, what is the definition of uniform motion, what is the definition? A body covers equal distance in equal intervals of time. Yes, a body covers equal distance in equal intervals of time. The distance time graph of a uniform motion is always a straight line, and for uniform motion the speed of the whole journey or of the vehicle remains constant or same throughout the journey. What about non-uniform motion? A body covers unequal distance in equal intervals of time. The distance time graph for non-uniform motion is not a straight line, it is always a curved line, and the speed throughout the journey is not the same. Okay, how to do the graphs on distance, time and all, we all have done all these things. Okay, please practice it, okay, and go through it. So this is very important. Now, so moving on to the next part of the chapter, that is time. This is today's topic, that is time. So time is the duration at which some things occur. Now what kind of things occur? Don't you think time is something so important in our life? Without time, it would be so difficult for us to set routines. When you need to eat your breakfast, when you need to get up from your sleep, when you need to go for your school, when do you need to come back and have your lunch, when to take bath. So many activities we do throughout the day. All these things, we have divided time. We have divided our activities according to the time, isn't it? So time plays a very important role in our daily life. So time is very important. And I hope you know what is the standard unit of time. The standard unit of time is second. Apart from second, we have other units of time also. We have hour, we have minute, and we have second. So when we talk about the SI unit or the standard unit of time, it is second. So let me tell you all some stories related to time. Okay. So what kind of stories? What do you think? In ancient days, in olden days, the watches, clocks, were they so advanced like the watches and the clocks that we have nowadays? No, not at all. Isn't it? So how people used to measure time? They used to use natural events like number 1, sunrise, and number 2, full moon. These were certain things which were used to determine the month and the day. Sunrise, the duration between one sunrise to the next sunrise was considered to be 1 day. And the duration between one full moon to the next full moon was considered to be 1 month. So this is how they used to predict, or they used to depict day as well as months and all. So natural things were used to do this, to measure the time. Now moving on to certain kind of devices or instruments that used to help them to measure time. Okay, so with time, as days passed by, people slowly started getting little bit advanced. Okay, so like number 1, we have the sundial. Sundial, you can see nowadays also it is there in Jantar Mantar in Delhi. Okay, sundial consists of a dial, a thin dial, and on top of the dial there is a very thin, there is a, you can say, a needle. This is actually known as a gnomon. And this is the dial. On the dial, the time was there, okay, and this particular needle or the gnomon used to, the shadow of this particular needle used to fall on the dial. So you can say one disadvantage was there, that this sundial could be used only during the daytime by looking at the apparent position of the sun in the sky, because as the sun changed its position in the sky, what used to happen? The shadow of this needle also used to change. It used to cast the shadow on the dial, and that is how hour was measured. Understood? So you don't have to go into the details of all these things. Just little bit of concept is well enough. Okay. Next, moving on to the second time, that is the sand clock, which is also known as the hourglass. Sand clock or hourglass. I am sure all of you have seen a sand clock, especially you get it with your, puzzles and all. Okay, this hourglass or the sand clock actually looks like this. There are two chambers. This is supposing the upper chamber would consist of sand, and this is the lower chamber. So there are two chambers, upper and lower. And this sand keeps on dripping to the lower chamber. So the time interval, the time taken to complete, the sand to finish from the upper chamber to reach the lower chamber, that was considered to be the time interval. Okay, so but there are lots of limitations, lots of disadvantages. Again and again you have to turn it, and you can imagine if you want to find out the hour. Okay, hour if you want to calculate, then how big your sand clock needs to be. Understood? So these were certain things which were used. And number 3, there was water clock. Water clock was also somewhat like sand dial only, but instead of chambers, there were 2 beakers, you can say. This is one and this is another beaker. So 2 beakers were kept. One contained water and there was a hole on a cord, and this water used to drip to the second beaker. And this time to reach the second beaker every time was the same. So this is how it was used, to measure time intervals by using these 3 kinds of things: sundial, sand clock, water clock. Don't have to go to the concepts. Don't have to go to details about all these things. Little bit of concept is enough. Okay, so these were certain stories, you can say. Nowadays hardly you get to see these things, and with technology, things, watches, clocks and all, it has become so advanced that you don't have to go through all these olden systems and all, okay, to measure time. So what do you have nowadays? This wristwatch that I am wearing. It's so easy for me to see the time, isn't it? Nowadays, looking at time has become much more easier with the invention of the digital clocks. Don't you think so? Digital clocks. Digital clocks, they directly display the digits on the dial. So they directly display the digits on the dial. So anybody who doesn't even know how to see the time, that person can also easily tell you the time of the day. Understood? So this is how it is used. So let me go to later on how things time, this invention of the different devices, watches and clocks, how they became more advanced with the invention of a very important concept which is known as a pendulum. All of you have heard of pendulum? Pendulum. Okay, so after these things, sundial, sand clock, water clock, after all these things came the concept of the simple pendulum. Very, very important concept. Simple pendulum was actually based on periodic motion, periodic or oscillatory motion. So I'll come to these things once again. Right at the first lecture only, I have already told you what is a periodic motion. A motion which repeats itself after regular intervals of time is known as a periodic motion. So let me come to the concept of a pendulum. From a simple pendulum came the concept of pendulum clocks and all these things. Okay. So let me show you how a pendulum actually looks like. So this is a support, supposing, and there is a string which is attached to a metallic ball. This metallic ball is known as the bob of the pendulum. What is it known as? The bob, B-O-B, bob of the pendulum. It is just a metallic ball. And as you increase the length of this string, the time period of the pendulum will also increase. What is time period? Time period is the time taken to complete one oscillation. Time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation. One oscillation. Now what is oscillation? Let us see. Oscillation means the to and fro movement of the pendulum. To and fro movement of the pendulum is known as oscillation. And this oscillation, time taken to complete one oscillation. Now when I am telling you one oscillation, means what? This will keep on moving. Then what is one oscillation? Supposing this particular position A, when the bob is not moving, the bob is fixed, it is not yet moving, this particular position is known as the mean position of the pendulum. What is it known as? Mean position of the pendulum when the pendulum bob is not moving. When you allow it to move, this pendulum bob is going to sway to and fro. So once it sways, it will come over here. Supposing this position is B, it will come here, it will go back to A, again it will come to C, come back to A. So this two position B and C, they are called the extreme position of the pendulum. A is known as the mean position of the pendulum and B and C is known as the extreme position of the pendulum. So what is one oscillation? A to B, B to A to C, back to A. So starting from A, coming back to A. Can you see? This is considered to be one oscillation. Is it okay? So time taken to complete this one oscillation. Supposing time taken is 1 second. So 1 second is the time period of this pendulum. Is it okay? So as you change the length of the string of the pendulum, your time period also changes. Your time period will increase if you increase the length of the string of the pendulum. Okay. So this is your first thing, that is oscillation and then time period. And then how it is related to the length. Then you have one more term which is known as amplitude. What is amplitude? Amplitude is the maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position to extreme position on either side. When this bob is fixed at one position and you allow it to sway, it is going to come somewhere here. Whichever position, somewhere it will go to some extreme position and then it will come back to its mean position again. So to go to its extreme position, how much, displacement? Displacement is the shortest route. This much supposing. How much is this displacement? This is known as amplitude. So once it will come here, it will come this side also. So on either side. Either side. So this is your amplitude. It is the maximum displacement of the pendulum bob from its mean position to extreme position on either side. Is it okay? So these are the different terms which are related to a simple pendulum, and simple pendulum, this concept was used to make other kind of watches like pendulum clocks and all. Understood? So these are certain things that was used. Okay, then after that came the concept of other watches, watch, clock and all these things. So a little bit part is left. I'll be covering it in my next topic once again, and I want all of you to be ready with your mind maps also. I'll be discussing about the mind maps. All of you have the book that I will discuss in my next video. Okay, little bit more portion that I want to discuss with all of you. Let us discuss about the units, different units that we use to measure the time interval. One I told you are 1 hour means how many minutes? 60 minutes. 1 minute means how many seconds? 60 seconds. All these things you all know. 1 day means how many hours? 24 hours. 1 decade. 1 decade means 10 years. Decade, the word decade means 10 years. 1 century. 1 century means, I'm sure all of you know this, 100 years. Century means 100. All of you must watch, you must be watching this cricket and all. Century you must have heard. Century means 100. Whenever it is 100 runs, it is century. So 1 century here means 100 years. Okay. 1 millennium. What is the meaning of millennium? Means 1000 years. 1 millennium is 1000 years. So we are in 2 millennium, 2000 years, isn't it? 2020. So that is the second millennium that is going on. Then we have, we can say 1 year is equals to 365 days. So all these things, you have to know, it is given in your book. All these, get these things clear in your mind. Go through this portion. Okay, so I have discussed about time. A little bit of portion is left. Go through the chapter, read it, and get your concepts very clear regarding simple pendulum, your time period, amplitude, and all these things. Alright children, solve your worksheets and so do your work. Thank you and have a good day.